Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thought we'd get you guys a pro tip video, kind of a standalone, sort of a quick pro tip. So one of the best ways to get the most out of the horsepower that your car already has is with lower gear ratios, which creates an easier environment for your car to accelerate, less resistance if you will. Now of course the problem is too low a gear ratio, your car is tacking way too much whenever you're trying to cruise down the highway. So not usually recommended for street cars to go over 373s or 411. Now, many of you probably already know, gear change affects how many times the drive shaft rotates in relation to how many times the back tires rotate. So if you can allow your drive shaft to rotate a lot of times before the back tires make a single revolution, it's easier on everything in front of the axles, if you will. Kind of like if you think about a 10-speed bicycle. It's the same principle. What I wanted to show you today is how do you calculate the gear ratio in your car in case typically there's a tag on the back on one of the rear diff bolts that'll say what the gear ratio is, but if that's missing, like it is on our 4th gen, and you don't want to crack it open and count the teeth on the ring gear and divide it by the teeth on the pinion gear, you can do this simple method. Now, I've marked this pinion yoke with a piece of blue tape. I've also only got one lug nut on this rear axle hub, and it's straight up, or straightish up. So we're going to spin this one time, and we're going to count how many times that yoke turns, basically how many times we see the tape. So 1, 2, 3, and then we continue. It's just shy of a half, with a little more rotation to be 3.5, which would be a 3.5 gear ratio, which doesn't really exist. So if you back it up shy of that, and because we know a few things about how many gear ratios exist, we're going to say that our car has 342s in it. Now, there was on the 3rd gens a 9-bolt rear differential that was a rear disc. It was an Australian, and it had a little different gear ratios. They had 345s. So either way, 342, 345 is pretty close to the same gear ratio. Now we know, takes the guessing out. Appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel and watch some of these car build videos for lots of pro tips.